We're in. Good afternoon, United Kingdom, and broadcasting across the interweb. I'm Chris Grimes, but most importantly, this is Angela de Castro, who is, I'm delighted to say, this is a halcyon, happy day in the Good Listening To show clearing. Angela de Castro, who henceforth will be known as de Castro by her request, and she'll explain why, is one of the world's, well, most best loved clowns. And I couldn't think of a better conceit than to bring in the happy sprite-like energy of De Castro to the clearing. And what a joy to have a clown rummaging around the construct of the clearing, the tree, etc., that I'll lay out shortly. So Angela De Castro, thanks for being here. I'm thrilled to have you. How's morale? What's your story of the day, please?
Oh, I'm very happy to be here. That's a wonderful invitation. So thank you so much. And hello from London to everyone. South London, here we are.
South London, big shout out for South London. Lovely. You're from Brazil originally, but we'll get on to that, I know, because we're going to talk about a bit of a life trajectory and a journey. I've been aware of you most of my, I'm not trying to age us both, but I feel all of my career I've known you because I trained initially at the Central School of Screech and Trauma as a drama teacher back in the day. And I had posters of you and Nola Ray actually in my digs where I was staying. And then I've seen Slava's Snow Show, and I know that you were very formative in crafting that entire show. I love Gifford Circus. I know we're going to talk about, or I hope we're going to talk about that too. I've also had Tweedy the Clown take 2 traverses through the clearing. So you're in, well, I'm delighted to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very sweet of you to know you have my picture on your wall. Me and Nola with my very good friend. So
wonderful.
Nice.
So yes, the Why Not Institute, you very beautifully say that you are the clown in charge.
Yeah, that's right. The Why Not is organization I created when I just left Snow Show. At that time, we brought the profile of clowning was very high. And I left the show and I wanted to take the opportunity of the profile to have a place that would belong to clowns only. And so that's when the Why Not was born. It was 25 years ago. It
And I
was
think
1999.
yes, and congratulations to still going strong. In researching you, I saw that you were looking for a new home, but whether you stayed in the same home, did you succeed? On your website is, we need a new home. Have you
Yeah,
found a new home?
we're still looking for it. We've been fortunate to be resident in many places, but
Yes.
during the pandemic, we lost our place. Not just us, but all the residents on Stratford Circus Art Centre in East London. There was a problem, and they lose the building, and with not only the charity, but all the residents. So we were homeless. There is even a little video about us looking for places. And that was on the middle of the pandemic. And so far, we have a few offers, but it wasn't suitable. I'm somebody that I'm very careful about uh, to have a place that is suitable, but also is easy access to everyone. So
Yes.
it's close to a tube, it's close to, so people can go easily,
Yes.
right? So the places are being offered as either very expensive or very far away,
Yeah.
or the access was limited.
Yeah.
So far, I didn't get it, and it would be lovely to have a place because through the years I have a huge archive. I collect a huge archive in clowning, and also being given. There was a clown that she retired, and she gave all her props, all her stuff, and so all the library I have, and the video library, DVD images, all that. And so I would like to share that. It's no point to have that in boxes or on my own shelves in my house. So it's
So
nice.
everything you have is in your house at the moment. So you're no longer in the old home that you had and you're looking for a new
No,
home still.
no. It is unfortunate. We lost this space and I couldn't find another one. And very recently I've been offered somewhere.
Yeah.
but wasn't as good in terms of access. Doesn't open the weekend, has very restricted hours, and
Yeah.
that's not good enough. So if there is somebody out there that would like to give a home for the institute, for the why not, please get in touch.
And
Why
if this
not?
program
Eh,
enables that, I'd be absolutely thrilled. By you traversing through my clearing in the Good Listening To show, I'd be delighted if that ended up being a home for you as well.
That'll be great. That'll be.
And I think the really wonderful thing to position about the Why Not Institute is that your statement of intent, your purpose imperative. We believe in the vital roles of clowns as truth tellers, entertainers, subversives, and communicators in the arts, in society, and across the world. And you are a lost, well, you're a vaudevillian art is a lost art now. And I love the fact that you remind me, and this is a total compliment, of Oliver Hardy, because I love Laurel and Hardy, and I'm delighted that I can see some Laurel and Hardy
Yeah,
figurines behind you as well.
that's right.
And
Yeah. I believe in that. I believe that we are educators, that sometimes we think that clowns are always funny, or, yeah, that's part of it. We are entertainers, but we also educators, and we also like a newspaper, and we also see things out of the box. What
yeah,
then we become subversives in a way,
and of
So
course the legacy and the history of that in Shakespearean times was, of course, the fool to King Lear. You know, the one person that can, I suppose, have the ear of the king, but actually be there with a sheep's bladder to sort of slap his head and keep him in line.
mhm.
And so the
Yeah,
vaudevillian is a really beautiful historic art. And, you know, you're still trailblazing and always working on clown personas, I know, whenever you're in your free time. And you've got we'll talk about the Clown Summer School. You've got it coming up soon in June as well.
yeah, that's right. Oh, you said so many things that deserves a bit of a chat. Yeah, well, the summer school is coming up. Uh, I want to say something about it, about what you said before, because the why not and the way that I see clowning is that we are inclusive. So there are many lines of clowning, and very recently the whole art form has broadened. And so I actually ask people to broaden your mind, in terms of the lines of clowning.
Yes.
So at the moment, there is the theater clown, the circus clowns, the street clowns, the children's entertaining clowns, the musical clowns, but we have the clown rebels, the clown army, the clown priestess, the spiritual clowning, and so that the rebel clowning. So we go
And, and
everywhere.
and yesterday, I know we had a quick conversation about how you felt it was an insult when we talk about political clowns as well. And of course, there is a political clown,
No,
or
there is
many.
political clowning, and
Yes.
that is valid because the clowns always say the truth, and
Yes.
you have a voice to say what's going on. But when you call certain politicians clowns, then it's an offense. I feel offended. Don't call a politician that is not the best of ones, that only do weird things, that only see to themselves. Don't call them clowns, because that's offense the real clowns, the ones that put their lives on
Yeah.
the line, to be clowning. So
Yes.
that's an offense.
And during the pandemic, just to share with you a quote that I loved, I was reading a really dark book about the cartel, but then there was a beautiful quote about the nature of comedy and clowning. We have to laugh because, as we know, the first evidence of freedom is laughter. So
Yeah.
even in real adversity, the art of clowning, the art of being able to see light in dark and to call out truth. I mean, I love the imperative of the Why Not Institute, and we are going to do a very exciting bit, which is called the show us your QR code moment at the end, where we're going to point people to all the philosophy that you talk about in terms of the art of clowning.
It is amazing. The art of clowning is, it is amazing. I don't know any art form that can offer such a huge spectrum of possibilities, a freedom that you can't find in any other art form. If you can embrace clowning properly, if it's not just about to do comedy, comedy is just part of it.
Yes.
There is more to it. There is more to it. It's very nice, and is you make it. Sometimes people are do clowning in an instant way. They are instant clowns. They can say a good joke, right? And that is great because you make people laugh on that instant. But how long is that gonna last? How much is the impact or the effect is gonna last on that particular person? You see, even if 5 minutes is worth it.
Yes.
But sometimes we can go a bit more profound, and you can go in a lighter way. It doesn't need it to be uh, in an angry way or
Yes.
in an aggressive way. I mean, so
And what I so enjoyed when you first joined me here on Restream, where we're broadcasting, you said, I was saying how lovely you look in your shirt and tie. And can you just remind us why you said it's a lovely statement as to why you love to turn up in your shirt and tie?
well, it's every time I have to actually present myself to either give a talk or go somewhere that's public or live, like we are now. Uh, I feel that people sometimes they might expect that I come in, dress up as a circus clown, or very extravagant, or with any T-shirt with a kind of that will do fashion. But I respect the art form, and that is a way to say, look, let's seriously talking about clowning. Yeah, let's take fun seriously, and therefore I like to present myself in a more maybe formal way.
Yeah.
That is a way that I can show a bit of I don't know how it's difficult to say that, but show a bit of respect to
Yes.
it. To or to present myself in a way I feel that is
Respect because, as we've both agreed, it's an art form and it's a necessary part of society's equation.
yeah, and people don't for people to take it seriously. I have to take it seriously.
Yes. And you've
So that's
dedicated
why.
your whole life to it, I know.
Yeah, my whole life doing it. Every time I go and do this, sometimes very big talks and speak and stuff, I always either go in a suit or I go somewhere that's as a kind of Sunday best
Yes.
because people do expect that is too big or too loud or too, and I'm not like this. I
Well,
really not like this.
let's get you on the open road of the structure of the Good Listening To show. If you've not seen this show before, where have you been? We're about 250 episodes into these monkeys, but it's a show in which I invite movers, makers, shakers, mavericks, influencers, and also personal heroes. You'll see how you fit right in there, De Castro, as we all come to share your stories of distinction and genius. So you're more than qualified to be here. I'm thrilled to have you here. So let's get you on the open road. Where is a clearing or serious happy place for you, De Castro? Where do you go to get clutter-free, inspirational, and able to think?
Well, I have a few places, right? I try to. People say that I'm short on height, but I'm not short on words. So I always have to edit because otherwise. So professionally, my happy place is the Why Not Land. It is a place where everything's possible. Is where when you uh, get into the state of clown, and from there everything changes. And so that's one place.
And just say it again. It's the why not? Did you say what's the actual place?
Lunch. The Why Not Lunch.
Lunch. Ah,
Lunch. Land territory.
Sorry, I'm being. It's called the Good Listening To Show. There's ironic. So you're talking about the why not land? Get that?
Land, yeah.
I
It's
heard
my
lunch
accent.
first of
It's
all.
my accent, okay? You guys there listening to it, you might have a bit of a problem to adjust your ear to this Brazilian accent.
Which is beautiful, I have to say.
Thank you. So, the Why Not Land is a place that you, you go when you are free. It's absolute free. So you go into your imagination or you put yourself into it. The other place I really in heaven is when I'm performing, when I'm on the stage. That is a very happy place. I've been a performer for over 50 years and I never been nervous. Every time I come into the stage, I celebrate the privilege to be doing what I love doing. So I don't get nervous, I celebrate. So that is a beautiful place to be for me.
That's a
Very happy place.
beautiful combined clearing of performing in Why Not Land.
Yeah, there is one more place, which is personally, my personal place, is to go to the beach. If I am on the beach, but it needs to be in Brazil. It can't be the beaches in the UK.
Quite
Uh,
right.
They are very beautiful, but they are not a beach to actually go and swim and stuff, right? So to be on the beach in Brazil, my favorite beach in Brazil is called Arpoador, which is closer to Ipanema Beach, which is very famous, close to Copacabana Beach, but is a part of the beach that's very small and has the best sunset that you can get. So it's a beautiful place, and that's my beautiful, beautiful place personally. The Castro personally.
Love that. That's beautiful. So we've got a really wonderful, I suppose, trilogy of places, but they could all combine with you actually performing in Why Not Land on the beach in Brazil, if you like.
Oh, that would be perfect.
So now I'm going to arrive, and you'll enjoy this because it's deliberately Beckety, a bit Waiting for Godot-esque. I'm now going to arrive with your tree in your clearing, and I'm going to shake your tree, De Castro, to see how your storytelling apples fall out. And this is where you've been kind enough to have prepared your answers to a lovely, juicy storytelling exercise called 54321, which is the metaphor of how'd you like these apples falling out of your tree. So first of all, it's not a memory test, but I'm going to curate you through it. 4 things that have shaped you, 3 things that inspire you, 2 things that never fail to grab your attention, which I'll talk about as we get there. And then the 1 is a quirky or unusual fact about you, De Castro, we couldn't possibly know about you until you tell us. So over to you to interpret the shaking of the canopy of your Samuel Beckety tree as you see fit.
Right. So it starts what really inspires me, right?
4 things that have shaped you, first of all.
Shaped me.
Yes.
Oh, honor, love, friendships, and compassion. That shapes me. Honor is very important. To honor myself, to honor the work I do, to honor my colleagues, to honor the art form. Honor is very important for me. Friendships are very important. Love is very important. And compassion, to be able to see the other and to sit together, even if you can't do anything. You can sit together. You can understand. If you can understand, sometimes all you can do is to understand. So that shapes me pretty much. I sometimes people say I'm quite tough. I'm not tough. I have discipline. That's all. You know, have discipline. But honor is top of the list. That's
And it
about.
has compassion and kindness is the golden thread through everything you've just articulated so beautifully.
You have to be able to see the other, because sometimes people don't see the other. They say they see, but they look, but they don't see. You know, or they hear, but they don't listen. So you have to see and you have to hear yourself as well, no? And the other. It's very important that it is fundamental and is lacking. We are lacking compassion out there, I think, politicians especially.
I'm
Isn't it?
deliberately not interrupting you because this is just beautiful.
Oh, well, I'm done. I'm okay.
Perfect. So now, thank you for that's the most perfect for shapages. Thank you. Now we're on to three things that inspire you, De Castro.
Oh, I have lots of things that inspire me. I can't be limited to three people, to three things. My kids inspire me. I have two kids, and they inspired me. They are the most precious things I I have the pleasure to be with, to be inspired by. They're young, they're bold, they live their time, and that is so inspiring to see how it develops and how we learn with it. You know, can learn with these kids and learn with these a different way to see the world. So that is a big exercise, and yes, they inspire me immensely, immensely.
And what's so perfect is children remind us to look through the world through childlike eyes, which of course is what a clown is able to do so perfectly as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as they get older, because now my kids are not kids, they are young adults, and how they perceive the moment we are living, uh, how can they uh, how they perceive what's happened, things about maybe politics or about love, about education, about day by day things, about difficulties they encounter. How do they deal with that? It's so different, it's so fresh. There are different point of views, and therefore for me to keep working, I have to keep myself young. I keep myself contemporary. So I have to see what's going on and to adapt, and sometimes very difficult. And so it's hard. Uh, and at the same time, is inspiring. Dude, I'm not dated. I'm old, but I'm still with it. You know, I still have my motorbike and everything. So,
I hoped you're going to talk about your motorbike because whenever you have time away, you're on your motorbike, I'm gathering.
oh, I have the most beautiful motorbike. The other thing that inspire me are the cliches, right? Because they are certain songs and the lyrics of that songs, or sometimes just the music itself, that elates me or transports me. And the same when I see good shows. I saw a show recently, not recently, it was in January. There was amazing. Was a show called Dimanche by a Belgian French company, two companies working together, which was great. One was clowning and physical theater, the other one is puppetry and illusionism. And they got together to do the show, and that was mind blowing. And then I feel, oh, I in the end, I went to talk with this performance to thank you them for doing something that I would like to be doing. Thank you for doing it. At least somebody's doing it. And it was amazing. It was amazing show. So that inspires when I see good shows. Oh, that is amazing. That is a gift.
And may I ask, is there any piece of music that's just occurred in you saying you love music? Because my podcast editor Dan is brilliant at texturing through music.
Well, I like a lot of Brazilian music because the poetry and the rhythm is very good. So there is one that is from a composer called Milton Nascimento, called Canção da América. It's called in Portuguese. It's American song, but nothing to do with America anyway. But it's called Canção da América. That is an amazing, amazing song. The other one's called Travessia from the same composer. I also like, I forgot the name of the composer, but it's called Return of the Angels. It's called
Pattern of the Angels.
Return.
Return of the Angels.
Return of the Angels. And that is a song that is no words, no lyrics, but is a song that when you listen, it soothes, so inspires me. It's like if you're being embraced by wings, by something kind, and that is makes my soul sings. It's very good songs. So there is amazing songs, but I could keep talking about songs here, all the time. And the Brazilian songs are really special to me. I grew up with them. There are the samba schools, there are the sambas, the Brazilian sambas, which is different than the Jamaicans or the other cultures. Um, it is amazing. It goes on your heart when you hear the beat, so
What a great expression. It goes on your heart when you hear the beat.
yeah, it does, because you see, when I was young, when I was a kid, like 5 years old, from my 5 to my 15 years old, I lived close to a samba school. In Rio, there are different samba schools. They call it schools, but it's just samba centers, and they are all by Islam or by uh, poor neighborhoods. And I live close to one. And so when it starts in April, March, April, they start rehearsing for the parade, the carnival parade in February of the other year. And so, therefore, I go to sleep. For 10 years, I went to sleep with tum tum chika tum chika tum chika tum chika tum chika tum. Tum tum chika tum chika tum. And then it stays with you, isn't it? Makes your heart beat in a different way.
I was
So
going to ask, if you go to the doctor and they listen to your heartbeat, whether it's actually giving us a samba rhythm.
when my first kid was born, I had a full blast samba going on. So they heart always beat with the samba.
That's
Yeah,
so lovely to listen to you chuckle about that as well.
so I also have, this is important because I have films that I keep watching over and over again because they inspire me all the same, all the time. And sometimes I even put it back the same scene because I want to study the scene. I want to study how that performer could do that. So I have to say that the word of Fellini, the work of Giulietta Massina in Nights of Cabiria from Fellini, it is a class, is a master class. So her work is superb. So that inspires me. And then there is the German Wings of Desire. a black and white film that again tells a story that it goes beyond. And I keep watching that. I watch again. I watch one more time. Sometimes just part of it. So it is inspiring. And I have to put a shout here for a film, a Brazilian film called I'm Still Here, that was recent and got the Golden Globe and all that. And it's a very important film because it talks about the times of the dictatorship in Brazil, which I lived in it, is my generation. And it says it's poetic the way they tell this story because they say from the point of view of a family and not, it doesn't show any torture and doesn't comment uh, so graphically what's happened at the time, but what was the effect on the family that lost their father, the family that lost the husband, that disappeared during the dictatorship. And it's a very poetic film. It's a very strong film, very deep. And the way that was filmed was also this director, Walter Salles, he was magical the way he did and how much he honored each decade because the film goes through few decades and how he honored in all aspects from the music, from the way that he filmed in celluloid, not digital, and everybody involved is it's an amazing film. Anyway, here's my shout. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It
I'm still here.
represents a lot of people, and especially on the time that we are living. And for generations that don't know what to be in a dictatorship means, people have short memory. So I think it's interesting to see what's happened, and especially on this time that we are now, that things looks like people have a very short memory. So
I'm
there
still
we
here.
go, there we
Yeah.
go. And the other thing that inspires me, there is more, is the work of the painter Chagall and Picasso and Magritte and Renoir and Van Gogh and Trace Fleming. It's absolutely inspiring to go and see that and to be in the presence of such a work of art. And these people are so generous, really. Because theater is ephemeral, but a film, a song that recorded, a work of art, paintings, are there all the time. You can access it all the time. The theater performing stays in people's memories, right? If you're good enough, and if you touch you enough. But these work amazing. I can go on and on, but hey, we don't have out there either.
Beautiful answers. And if I may, I'm going to move on now to talk about what are your two squirrels? This is borrowed from the film Up. I don't know if you've seen the film Up, but you know where the dog goes, oh, squirrels. So this is what are your two squirrels or monsters comedy prop squirrel? My family think I'm insane for having comedy props, but here you go. So what are your two monsters of distraction? Two things, squirrels, that never fail to stop you in your tracks, irrespective of anything else that might be going on for you in your wonderful life. What are your two shiny objects or your squirrels?
What gets my attention? You think what
Yeah.
I stop to have a look at?
Yes.
Um, well, trees. I like trees. I love trees.
I'm so happy you love trees. Me
I
too.
love. I love trees. I love trees in all seasons of the year. Um, I used the other house I live. There was a very small tree, the only tree on the whole street, and there was just outside my window, and was a very small tree, very thin, very thin, very, so fragile. That tree never died, was always there, never grew, always stayed the same. And when it got the winter, I used to put I would say this sharp.
Cladding? Are you talking about wrapping your tree in a duvet? What are you? What you're
Yeah, I wrap my trip in a scarf. I put a scarf because I felt so sorry. She felt so fragile. Do not talk to her, etc. So I really like trees, and that's something that takes my attention when I'm driving, when I'm walking around, and suddenly I see that particular tree, one or another. And what I found amazing is when we are just on the transition from the winter to the spring, and we see all the uh, how to say, the branches without the leaves yet. See, and they look like embroidery, And God, I always want to know what they talking to each other. If they okay, And such a generous thing. Trees, it's so generous. I went to a place near Ipswich some time ago, weeks ago, that they have on their land two trees that were together and then entwined. Ah, God, what a wonderful thing to see. And I done a show, my own show called My Life is Like a Yo-Yo, which is about how much I travel and how much touring I do and how much places I visit, how many stories to say, and how tiring that is as well. And so I finished the show saying that on my next life, I want to be a tree because it just stays there and doesn't go anywhere. I want to be a tree. On my next life, I want to be a tree.
And if someone comes and wraps a scarf around you, that's a
It
perfect.
might be, maybe we can have a dog that have a wheel or somebody that throw some food in there or throw up, or but we might have somebody that might carve a heart on it, or might hang a swing, or might go to the shade, or is a tree, is generous. The trees are very, very generous. We should look after our trees,
I
anyway.
completely agree. And you're allowed a second squirrel now, and I love the fact
Oh,
that
I have two more actually. I have cars and motorbikes. I love
yep,
cars
yep.
and I have motorbikes. So that is something that I stop to see. I comment if I can with the driver. So I like that.
You mentioned already you have a wonderful motorbike. What is it that?
I have a Honda Rebel, which is a customized bike. Very low because as I said, I'm not that tall. Yeah. So I love it. I keep saying I'm old, but I'm still with it. It's a very nice bike. It's red, and I have a red helmet to go with it. So it's
And
very
does all of London know when De Castro's on her bike? It's
sometimes
very iconic.
if they can see me because it's very low, very low. So the other thing I really like, important saying, is that I like to see people. I like to observe people on the street. That's something that takes my attention. Sometimes I'm driving traffic light and they're passing. I notice how people are walking. I start making stories about them, or I notice what they're wearing, or how they're walking, if they're carrying something, if it's heavy, what it is. I love that. I'm fascinated by that. And to see people that are invisible. I make sure I see people that nobody sees, right? like the delivery people, the cashiers, the beggars, the drunks, the drivers. Don't know, people think I'm crazy, but I make sure if I spot one, I make sure I say hello. I ask how they are, if they okay, how long they working, or stuff like that. But I love people, and I love people on the street. I
Castro,
adore.
you may know this, I'm sure, but what I love in going full circle to you loving Oliver Hardy is, did you know that Oliver Hardy grew up in a Texas hotel which belonged to his parents, and he would just people watch and observe, and that would be where he would bank characters. So that's so.
But I think that if you say, for me, I say that we clowns, we represent humanity, right? My work is all about human nature. If your work is about human nature, you have to observe people. You can't be abstract. And also, it's free. People are just out there. Just
People
sit
watching
down
is
and have
free.
a look. Do you know what I mean? How many times I take a bus? I don't have to go anywhere, but I take a bus just to be able to chat with somebody on my side, or to see how people are doing or what's happening. Do you know how many times I go take? I don't like the tube, but I like the bus. Do you know? And I collect my material with observing.
I'd love to be on the same bus as you. That's fantastic.
It's great. It's great. There was once that this woman by my side was talking on the phone, trying to buy a new phone. She didn't need a new phone, but she fell into somebody selling her a new phone. And was a lot of things like which kind of phone you do want, what does did do this or that or whatever. And she kept put the woman hold to call her mother, to ask the mother opinion about something, come back. And that was a long time. That was from Brixton to London Bridge. And then I said, a certain point, this whole thing was about the color of the telephone. And she called a friend, and she called her mother, and she called, and at a certain point I said, just to get the blue one, get the blue one. Wow. And she did. Oh, yeah.
Lucky you were there because the choice was made. Perfect. And now we're going to talk finally about the one, which is a quirky or unusual fact about you, De Castro, that we couldn't possibly know about you until you tell us.
Um, I am not scared to fall in love. I'm not scared of it. But I'm also very shy. So if you out there wants to give me a pass, you have to be very clear about it, because I'm very shy and sometimes I don't get it.
That's the most perfect answer to the quirky or unusual fact in all of the circa X number of hundreds of episodes. That's a perfect answer. I love that.
Is it? Mm.
We have shaken your tree, De Castro. Hurrah.
Oh my
Now,
God, I feel all shaken.
and now we stay in the clearing, which is your wonderful performing in Why Not Land on the Brazilian beach, but you're performing and it's perfect. And you've done it because people observed, and you've created your characters from the way in which you've observed the world. And now we're going to talk about alchemy and gold. So when you're at purpose and in flow, what are you absolutely happiest doing in what you're here to reveal to the world?
To be in the beach in Brazil. I adore to swim, to surf, to cut the wave.
And when were
Then,
you last there?
oh, about 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
So there is a return
I
coming.
really miss it. Um, of course, I love clowning, and I love to. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm on my element. If I am on the beach and talking about clowning and going to the beach on my motorbike, I'm in heaven. I'm absolutely in heaven. Blimey, I'm in heaven. Uh, there is something else I also I also happy teaching. I didn't set up to be a teacher at all. I don't even like to call myself a teacher. I prefer to call myself a performer that knows a lot of stuff and want to pass on. I don't. I like saying like this. I like helping people to put their acts together, to direct, to help them to access what they want to do with clarity. And so I love doing that. I have a lot of fun doing that.
And I know your signature globally renowned program is How to Be a Stupid.
That's right. Yeah, well, how to be a stupid was I start. It all happens because uh, after I've done a lot of training with a lot of masters, which lasts till kind of 91 more or less at that period. I done quite a lot of training and work with in a company that had lots of very good crowns as well. And so I learned a lot, observe a lot for quite a few years. And then I want to keep learning and keep researching, and still very thirsty about it. And my first crown teacher, called Frankie Anderson, she asked me to be her assistant. And she said, I want you to assist me, but you have to run 2 classes a week, because she didn't live in London anymore. And I said, I can't. I'm not prepared. I mean, I don't have the capacity to teach clowning. I'm just starting myself. Now you can do, you can do. And so I started doing something very simple to please her, and because I'm so grateful to her as well. No? So, and then I understood how much we learn when you run classes.
Yes.
How much you learn is so rich. And then after that period, I was called to run a class in a place called Royal Holloway New College, a university in Egham, which is just outside London. And again, I said, how can I do that? But I saw, okay, let's put together what I know so far and what is important to me. What was it that makes me understand? And I always been very disciplined in making notes, and what I like, what I didn't like, how difficult that was, or whatever. And then I started taking what was important to me, what helped me, and I make a list, and I start, and that how to be stupid started. It started as a 2 hours, 2 days a week for 10 weeks. That's how it started. And then after that, it started happening of people calling, and I started learning more workshops, just 2 days a week in between my touring and the work I was doing, and started developing the thoughts about it, and what is it that really helped me? What is about? You see, and also taking from my notes what I liked, not what I didn't like. I'm not going to repeat everybody's or the teachers' processes. There are things I like and there are things I don't like. So I just took what I liked and I just took what helped me.
And I totally understand how to be a stupid therefore becomes a life quest of all the wisdom you keep evolving and sharing. And
Keep
it's
evolving.
through which,
It starts as a 2 days,
yeah,
and then becomes 3, and then becomes 5, and then becomes 6.
then becomes a lifetime.
It's a lifetime now, because you have how to be a little bit of a stupid, how to be a stupid, how to be even more stupid, and then there is the research I'm doing, the clown's intelligence, and then the use of clowning in tragedies, and then clowning for actors, clowning for writers. So, and then the pleasure of playing. So that is, I start separating the modulus, because on the beginning I wanted to give it to the people everything I knew, but it's as much people can take, So I start kind of compartmentalizing, dividing. This is about this is about that, and then who wants to keep doing, keep coming, and keep doing it.
And the
That
only title that's missing is for politicians, which is How to Be Completely Stupid. Hurrah! That was only a title that was missing there.
no, but that is the thing. There is a little letter on this title that is very important. How to be a stupid, not how to be stupid.
Yes.
How to be a particular stupid. So
Yes.
that a gives a quality to this stupidity.
Yes.
So yeah, it becomes a very, for me, a very important 10 days. 10 days, 90 hours, 90 hours a day, with 2 days in between, the 2 blocks of 5 days. And becomes very important to me, because it is a concept, or it is a work that can be used by anyone, not just performers.
Yes.
For performers, brilliant. For the ones to be clowns, brilliant. But also for whoever, is about your creative self. So it's about the state of clown. For me, clowning, my way of clowning, what I believe and what I follow, clowning is not a technique. This most important thing about clowning is not the technique, is the state of clown. How do you get there? How do you can put yourself in such a state? You can call this state states of inspiration, state of creativity, I know something, you call whatever you like, but it's a state that you allow yourself to go to, and from there, everything's possible. You are then on the land of why not. And this state is difficult to get, because our lives, we are educated to be clever, to be important, that you can't fail, that you can't be a loser. There is a lot of obligations that society, and depend of the education we have, are put up on you. And therefore, you forget the pleasure that there is in living, that you have to embrace failing as a way of learning, and so on. It's part of life. We learn with what's happened. Nobody's a loser. There isn't such a thing for me, and not for clowning, say. And so, therefore, for you to change the way you think, for you to download, say, or upload a different kind of intelligence,
Yes.
for you to change the mechanism of your thoughts, you need to be intensive. You need to be 9 hours a day. Go, 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 go. Because if you do an hour a week, or if you do a half a day, you come back to your life. You come back to the way that you live normally.
Yes.
You see, so that's why it needs to be so intensive. It's intensive, it's challenging, but it's a lot of fun as well,
I don't
And
doubt.
yeah, so that's my how to be a stupid, and then the techniques comes with how to be even more stupid.
And we are going to be doing a section called Show Us Your QR Code shortly, where we're going to point people to the forthcoming, soon to be happening at Clown School that's happening in London.
Then let me put my postcard.
Not just yet, because we're going to do a cake now. So this is the section where I'm going to award you with a cake. Hurrah. So do you like cake, De Castro? That's the question.
Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm not that fond of cakes. I like creamy caramel.
Fine. A cream caramel
I like
coffee
cream
pudding will be
caramel
yours.
and I like millefeuilles. That's what I like. So,
Milfui. I love that. Yes.
but
So,
creamy caramel,
so a creme caramel shall be yours. And now you get to put a cherry on that creme caramel stroke cake with stuff like now. What's a favorite inspirational quote that's always given you succor and pulled you towards your future?
I prepared that because I want to be. There is one. Is both quotes have two, and they are from Einstein. They are from Albert Einstein. One is creativity is intelligence having fun. I love that.
Boom. Love that.
Creativity, here it is.
Say it again. It's there.
Creativity is intelligence having fun. And the
Boom.
other one is also from Einstein, which causes sometimes a lot of polemic, which is imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all you know and understand, while the imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and to understand. So for me, ultimate.
Perfect quotes. Thank you so much.
I love inventors. Inventors, they are on the land of why not? Because
Yeah.
they keep asking, why not? Why not? Can I have a paper to go to the toilet? Why not? And then they make it. They think. They think. Imagine Einstein thinking with his buttons, about the theory of relativity and how many times he failed, and then he got it, and it changed the whole perspective you have about the world.
Lovely quotes. Perfect. With the gift of hindsight, what notes, help, or advice might you proffer to a younger version of De Castro?
I thought about very hard about that one. I think I would say to my young self, you can. And I would say, you are beautiful as you are. Dot.
Beautiful. Perfect. We're ramping up shortly to talk about Shakespeare, borrowed from the 7 Ages of Mad Speech, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. But just before we get there, this is the pass the golden baton moment, please. Now you've experienced this program from within, this show, sorry, from within. Who do you think you'd most like to pass the golden baton along to in order to keep the golden thread of storytelling going?
Um, you could pass to my very good friend Kevin Brooking. It is a clown who is the director of the Clown Without Borders in Belgium. He is a superb clown. Superb. You could pass to him.
And say his name one more time.
His name is Kevin Brooking.
Thank you. So your
Kevin.
mission, should you choose to accept it, is to furnish me with a warm introduction to Kevin Brooking. Thank you very much indeed. That's a wonderful gift and high praise indeed that you've called him a perfect clown when indeed you are one yourself. So that's wonderful. Thank you for that very rich golden baton pass. So now, inspired by Shakespeare and all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players, could I invite you, De Castro, now to talk about legacy and how when all is said and done, you would most like to be remembered?
Right. I think my legacy will be in people's, I hope that will be in people's hearts, spirits, and in their mind. It's not tangible. It's not like a book or a film. It's the change that I made in few people's lives and work through what I discovered about clowning, about the state of clown, and the language that I've been blessed to be given that makes it accessible, that makes it easy for people to understand. So the language I developed to be able to pass on the crowning. Many people have been through my workshops through the years. I've been running a very long time, many times, and in many countries, all over. And yeah, the legacy is what the effect that having many people that pass through the work, through the how to be a stupid. There's been 25 years of the why not. I started running the workshops before that, so it's been a kind of over 30 years that these my process of crowning, my process to create what they call now a methodology, but I never wanted to have a methodology. I just want to keep going, right? To keep researching. And there were things that it still amazes me because people pass through these 10 days. Sometimes they do more than 10 days, they do the other modules as well. And I never see these people again sometimes. The other day, I had a Facebook message from a student from in Berlin. She done the course in Berlin in 2004. And she suddenly said, "Oh, De Castro, I've been thinking about you. I just want to say that your work is fundamental for me. I'm now a director of a theater here in Berlin, blah, 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 and I do this." And that is amazing.
It is.
I don't often hear what happened to people, so also there are funny things that happens with that place in Egam, for example, that university, the first one I taught, that I work, that I keep meeting people from their class. So there was Dan Rebelato, a writer, that wrote a character in a show for me. And then there is Lindsay Poole that was on the Arts Council for a very long time, and I keep meeting these people. And then, there is, I met recently Julie, that is the CEO of Shoreditch Town Hall. And then I met somebody in Worthing, that is a seaside resort here in the UK.
Yeah.
That is the CEO of Worthing Theatres and Museums. And I don't remember them, no. And then I meet them, I go, "Oh my God, I'm going to talk with the CEO." I arrive there, they say, "I've been your student. I was on the Royal Hallway." So there are people that change their lives completely.
And all
So
these people have become stupid in charge, as you say. You are the stupid in charge of.
they are the crown in charge. So there are people that wrote books and they left their jobs, to kind of follow what they want to follow and do shows. And we have Jane Cashman Wilson that just wrote a beautiful book called Be Brave. And so we have, M. Stout doing her shows as well and stuff. There's a lot of people, and that's my legacy. They live on people. So
Lovely, lovely. And I'm sure that legacy is utterly secure. So we're now going to do the show as your QR code, please. So Joe, my lovely assistant in the adjacent room, is now going to show the QR codes. So first of all, this is, if you'd like to find out all about the Why Not Institute, here is a QR code. Can you just tell us what the website is for the Why Not Institute, Angela?
It is, it's easy. It's thewhynotinstitute.com.
And there's a QR code if you're watching this too. Lovely jubbly. Go to the Why Not Institute, and the forthcoming workshops that are happening are, this is where you show us the cards, please.
Oh, my card. Oh, hold on. Where's my card? Oh, that's the card. Here we go. It's Here
The
we go. We
Summer
can't see
Clown
very well.
School, How to Be a Stupid.
Yeah,
And
we have
there are several courses happening, but all courses coming up in June are going to be care of the Why Not
it's
Institute.
from the 2nd to the 20th of June. And in London, South London, is a lovely venue. It's very nice. The How to Be Stupid has one place left. And
Ah,
yeah,
scarcity. That's
if you
great.
want to go run, and the other courses still have places because they can take more people. I work with a very small group of people. I don't work with 20 people. I work
Perfect.
with 10, 12 maximum. So,
And then the next QR code, sorry to interrupt you, is if you'd like to connect with De Castro on LinkedIn, then there's the QR code for that too.
oh,
I'm sure you're not on LinkedIn very much, but maybe you are.
no, I'm very much on the Instagram.
Yeah.
And the Why Not is on Instagram as well, on Facebook as well. I don't do very well the what's the name of that thing?
LinkedIn.
TikTok down
Oh,
that
TikTok. None of
we
that.
don't
Yeah.
do very well. But I want to say that the Why Not is not only about courses. The Why or workshops. The Why Not is a community. We do a lot of stuff that is not to do with courses. We help each other. We have the Why Not Cafe sometimes. We make films. I'm now being invited to run residencies. And also, I want to create a clown choir for Christmas. So this is all coming. I'm trying to do some short courses as well. Not only me, because you see, I'm one line of clowning. Kevin, for example, is another line. Susie Ferguson does clown doctors. So there are different lines. So I always try to bring other people to run workshops. And then what's happened is that we become a massive group that keep helping each other.
Yes.
So it's
The
not
collaboration.
only about courses.
Yes, I
That's
understand.
what I want to say.
As this has been your moment in the sunshine in the Good Listening To show, Stories of Distinction and Genius, is there anything else you'd like to say, De Castro?
Oh, thank you. I want to say thank you for inviting me. And I hope everybody's okay wherever you are. And, is I'm old, but I'm still with it. I think that as old you get, as more you understand. And clowning needs to have experience. You have to have life experience to be able to tell the stories, to tell more stories. And one thing that I learned about getting older is that, or to be old as I am now, is that you are not so worried about so many other things. You just say what you have to say. Just do what you have to do without being concerned about being cool or not cool. What's cool anyway. So
What's cool anyway?
yeah.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for saying yes in the first place. It's been an absolute delight to having your wonderful energy take a turn through the Good Listening To show, Stories of Distinction and Genius Clearing. If you'd like to have a conversation, if you've been listening or watching, the website for the show is thegoodlisteningtoshow.com. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can also do that too. That's one of the main platforms in which we have been broadcasting. And then very, very excitingly, there's also a series strand to my show, which has been within the mountainscape of the Good Listening To show anyway, but it's called Legacy Life Reflections, which is to record either your story or the story of somebody near, dear or precious to you for posterity, without any morbid intention, but lest we forget before it's too late. And that's legacylifereflections.com. It uses the same storytelling structure that I've just had the privilege of taking De Castro through. So is there anything else you'd like to say, De Castro?
Oh, I want to say thank you for your technician, who's very kind. We have to
Yes.
knowledge the people we don't see, isn't it? So thank you.
Thank you to Joe. And to
Joe.
yes.
You, Joe.
And she's gorgeous and very on the case and is just great to have there in the
Yeah,
background.
so thank you, Joe. And thank you, Chris, for inviting me, to give me this opportunity to leave my legacy on the on record. So
It's been a delight and a privilege, and it's everything I hoped it would be. So, De Castro, thank you so much for, as I said, gracing us with your wonderful sprite-like, your clownic, how to be a wonderful, profoundly awesome, beautiful, stupid.
yeah, I'm very proud of it.
You should be. So, thank you very much for listening. I've been Chris Grimes, but very importantly, that's De Castro. Good night.
Bye, bye, guys.